Good morning.
Hey Doug, yesterday Zach Ertz was talking a little bit about his toughness. It's pretty clear that Cincinnati game had an impact on him and the way that he wanted to be viewed. Have you seen growth from him in that area of wanting to be the guy in those tough situations?
Well, yeah, I've seen probably growth in everybody from those types. If a player goes through anything in this game, any kind of adversity, or even if it's positive, I think there's growth from it. And yeah, he's obviously bounced back. I know he got a lot of scrutiny from that game, and he's been able to block that out, and he's really done an excellent job actually since.
How difficult is it for Nick and for the offense to handle Minnesota's pre-snap disguises and how often they move after the snap?
Yeah, I mean they do a great job holding the safeties, holding linebackers, even some of their blitzes with 22. I mean he holds it to the last second and then tries to time them up. And those are just things that we know about him. We have to be aware of the guy that is responsible for that particular blitzer or stem by the D line, whatever it might be. We just got to be focused in, detailed in, and that just comes from the repetition and practice and the film study.
Alshon had more touchdowns against the Vikings than any
Who's
team.
that?
Alshon. He had more touchdowns in his career against the Vikings and more than any other team in the NFC North. Have you gone back and watched it all, maybe some matchups of him against Rhodes or things that worked well for him, even though he was with the Bears?
Yeah, I've gone back and looked at that matchup in particular. Just to see the battle that went on and the types of things that Alshon did against him and the coverage technique that he used. So does it apply to this game? Maybe a little bit. I mean, I think Alshon's a better player. I think he's a much better player, obviously, and that he's playing with a lot of confidence, and it's going to be another great matchup again, Sunday evening.
It sounds like players are harping on the need to improve in the red zone. I know Friday's red zone day, but is that a message that's coming from you this week?
Yeah, I mean it comes from me. It's great that it comes from the players. They recognize it. It's something that I started back in the spring, OTAs, working the red zone a little bit more because a year ago we weren't very good there, and we have seemed to kind of correct a little bit. Personnel helps, obviously, but it's great that the players are talking about it and focused on that area.
On Saturday night, was that something that stood out to you? You need to be better down there?
Yeah, you need to be better any game in the red zone, and I think the success and really the opponents that you're playing now are really good defensively in the red zone, and so we just have to kind of get back to fundamentals and basics and just kind of dial it down all the way to each individual job.
Doug, you talked a lot about ownership. When did that become kind of one of your pillars of your coaching philosophy, and is there someone that came from in your life or coaching ranks or anything?
It really goes all the way back to the end of last season for me. When you start thinking about the next year and how do you want your team to look and the messaging and all of that, and really that's when I begin to start sort of brainstorming ideas and words and cliches that might sort of resonate with the team that you can use week in and week out. And it's something that obviously I apply the same thing in my own life. Owning everything that I do, whether it be with my family, my wife, my children, or this opportunity as a head coach. So it's something that starts there and has really resonated with the guys.
Doug, it's obvious that this team trusts you. I mean, they all talk about it. Where does that start? Does it start in meeting rooms? Does it start in the meetings you have here in the auditorium? Does it happen on the field? Where does that and how does that come about?
I think it starts with all of that. The second I walk up here in the morning and address the team, the way I am, on the practice field, the way I interact with the players individually, the coaches, I think they see all of that. I think a lot of it too comes from just being genuine and real and being me, being who I am and not being something I'm not. when I was in Green Bay, I couldn't be Brett Favre. There's no way, and I can't be Andy Reid here in Philadelphia, so I've got to be Doug Pederson, and I think too, having that relationship and excuse me, having been in the locker room, and understanding the dynamic there also has helped with the trust with the players.
Doug, you mentioned yesterday Mike Sherman has an influence in terms of concepts and things like that. Could you give us a little more detail on that? Like, what exactly about what Mike did you thought was particularly innovative?
Well, a lot of it's just, of course, back then it was, whether it be a blocking scheme, the way we used tight ends. We had multiple tight ends back then that we used a lot and still use them today. We introduced the extra offensive lineman, back then. That was always a little different, unique style. So just things like that that have sort of, stuck with me over the years when designing either run plans or passing schemes, as we go.
Doug, we've seen Malcolm Jenkins be one of the guys, actually the guy from the players to speak to the team after you do in the locker room. A few times you guys provided the film. How did that happen, and why is it Malcolm?
I just think he's embraced it, and I think now the guys embrace it. I don't necessarily say Malcolm break the team down or talk to the team. I think it's just him being Malcolm and being a leader of this football team and being one of the guys that they look to for that leadership, and he's embraced it. The guys look forward to it, obviously, and he's been good. He's got a lot of profound messages as you've seen, and he speaks from the heart and he speaks truth. So that's been a positive.
In what ways have you been influenced as an offensive mind by Chip Kelly and that offensive, the college offensive wave that came a couple years back?
Well, the only influence I have there is really through Stout and Deuce and Justin, the guys that were on his staff, and then being able to just watch some of the tape that they were in the run game, and some of the passes that they've utilized, and it's some of it's very creative and unique and great to our game. Obviously, it takes into consideration that you don't have to block everybody, RPOs, for instance, and it was all a new world for me. Kansas City was the first time I was exposed to it through Alex Smith when he came from San Francisco, where he did it. So I think it's something that it's innovative, it's new, it's fun for the guys, but at the same time, I want to make sure that it fits us and fits our personality on offense.
As an offensive-minded coach, what do you think makes their receivers so effective?
Start over, please.
As an offensive-minded coach, obviously, what do you think makes Minnesota's receivers, Diggs, Thielen, so effective?
I think some of it's the run game. I think it's the play-action pass. I think it's the quick passing game. I think all that can help the receiving core that they have, and these are good receivers. I mean, these guys are they've worked themselves. I mean, you look at Adams' career and how he started and got in this league and the way he's worked, and there's another player right there, great example of a guy that just said, you know what, I'm not going to listen to the outside noise, and I'm going to do everything I can to make this team, make this roster, and now he's a 1,000-yard receiver, and just playing extremely well. So a lot of it's on the player, but I think the scheme can help it, and the coordinator can help it, and just the quarterback being efficient and knowing where those guys are going to be.
It seems you keep looking for different ways to use Nelson. Has his role evolved during the year based on that?
Yeah, it has. He's the type of guy you can move around, like his speed, utilizing that and his quickness, and as you saw last week, even in the run game, some misdirection things there. But again, it has to apply each week. You just can't come up with something if it doesn't apply to the team you're playing. So we keep looking for ways, to get him the football, and he's really, I would say, done a great job embracing that role.
As a follow-up to that, when you had Darren, you tried to kind of mix and match on different ways to use him. Has Nelson taken on that role in a way?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. You know, it's hard to replace a Darren Sproles, as you know, but Nelly has done a great job kind of filling that role for us, and you know, it is fun when you're coming up with new ideas and looking at a lot of tape just to find creative ways to put the ball in his hands, whether it's, you know, throwing it to him or handing it to him.
Would you say a maintenance day for Ellerby, or is this hamstring thing not as serious?
Yesterday,
Yeah.
yeah, we just handled him like we did last week, just giving him the rest.
When did RPOs come into the league, and how have they evolved? And how have you helped them evolve?
Well, I think back. I mean, I want to say they've been around for a while. I can't give you an actual year. I haven't studied again. You know, for me, it's been most recent is 2013, personally. When Alex and I crossed paths in Kansas City and what he did, and we took a look at some of the San Francisco stuff and, you know, what they did there and the creative stuff offensively that they did, and so that's where, for me, that's where it took off, obviously, and now it's been a part of you know, the offense that I've been, you know, associated with for the last, you know, 5 or 6 years. So it's going to continue to develop. I think it's a great way to, you know, it kind of goes hand in hand with your quick passing game a little bit, you know, balls out of the quarterback's hands, and, you know, it's a way to, you don't have to block everybody, you know, quite honestly.
Last one, please. What have you seen from Nick Foles since the game on Saturday in terms of his preparation and the practice yesterday, and how he's progressed in the last couple of days getting ready for this?
Yeah, you know, Nick, from preparation, the same. Nothing's changed there. I would say that, you know, obviously having a game like he had and as efficient as he was, it just boosts confidence, you know, going forward. You know, he's Nick is Nick. I mean, he comes to work every single day and does the same thing every single day and prepares the same, and there's not a lot that really, you know, gets under his skin. But I've seen a little more confidence in him. You know, he had a great practice yesterday, and look forward to another one today.
We'll be back tomorrow. Intensity that you preached at the beginning of the week, did you get that yesterday in practice?
I did. Yeah, it was a great practice, spirited practice, and you know, listen, it's not hard to get motivated for this week and the opportunity in front of our football team right now. Thanks.